Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Damon Friedman Show. This isn't just a podcast. This is a movement. And today, I'm bringing something very special for you. The title of this podcast is A Tactical Pause. But man, there's a reason why I'm wearing this orange shirt with the American sleeve, and another reason why I'm wearing my SOF Missions hat. I'm here to tell you that I've got a testimony that each and every person out there has to hear. Many of you know that I served 20 years in the military. Many of you know that most of my time was predominantly in special operations, and most of my service was in combat, supporting the war, engaged in the war, going deployed, Iraq, Afghanistan, and all sorts of places throughout the entire Middle East. And what happened to me, like many other veterans, is that there were some scars that most people can't see, the invisible scars. And when it was time to get out, I'm here to tell you that I had a really difficult time, a very, very difficult time trying to figure out what right looks like. And for me, I was trying to think, okay, I'm getting out after 20 years worth of war. What exactly is it that normal life looks like? So just remember, it was just a few years ago, handful of years, that we were having a global COVID issue. We had a mask mandate. We had political friction, like extreme. I mean, it's bad today, but man, it was like really bad during this time. The far right against the far left. We had suicide was going through the roof, this crazy mental health crisis. And then just to top it all off, man, like we have the fall of Afghanistan. Like for me as a veteran, that was completely failure in leadership. It was like tearing my heart out of my body and ripping it up, just thinking about how many men and women paid the ultimate sacrifice so that we could be a free country. Especially during my time frame, the longest war in history, 20 years, the United States was engaged in, and many men and women have deployed. Many men and women have paid that sacrifice. Many men and women have paid a lot in just what happened to their families, what happened to themselves, some physical injuries, some invisible. And I'm telling you right now that I was just messed up leaving the military service, didn't get the support that I needed. So I'm trying to like transition into the real world. And out of all the people, I felt like I was going to be okay. Why? I was running this organization called SOF Missions. I had a great staff. We're providing free medical care to veterans across the nation. Man, like there's this issue going on with a lot of veterans, suicide. Over 20 veterans take their lives every single day. And we're thinking, man, I could be part of the solution. And so many of my men that I fought with, bled with, sacrificed with, they're looking for hope. They're looking for healing. And when I was injured, man, like I found what was going to put me back together. I experienced that whole process. And many times when I was hopeless, I found that hope. Going through a psychological, a physical, a cognitive, a social, a spiritual healing. Man, you need it all in order to be whole again. And so SOF Missions provides that. That's what our organization does. We help warriors from all walks of life, all MOSs, all branches of service, whether you deployed or you didn't. If you're dealing with trauma, we're here to help. I figured, hey man, I got this mission. It's extraordinary. We're going to help our brothers and sisters. So I felt like I had it all together. Nah, that wasn't the case at all, because there's something about transitioning from pure military service to this crazy world that I was falling in. Now, with all that being said, the world is chaotic. I mean, we just experienced just recently Venezuela having 2 major earthquakes back to back, the largest in history within Venezuela in over 100 years, 7.2 Richter scale, 7.5. I mean, the death toll they're talking about is going to be over 10,000, but we're not familiar with this chaos. I remember during my time in service, Haiti happened. And what was going on? A big earthquake. So many people died. I remember deploying SOF missions to go and help provide medical clinics and massive food distributions and just dealing with disaster relief. Not only that, but another time when Japan happened, that tsunami. I mean, it engulfed people. It's not uncommon. Chaos is happening all over the world all the time. But for me to come back to this country after all these years of war, trying to find some form of peace, like Rambo, right? Like Rambo, he was going through so much, and all he wanted to do was find a place of serenity, find a place where he could call home and just live the rest of his life in peace. You know, I know without a shadow of a doubt that God has a plan for each and every one of us, and he promises each and every one of us plans that are filled with victory, plans to win and persevere and not to lose. So I'm thinking, okay, this is the next chapter of my life. I'm going to SOF missions. I got right to work. I'm passionate about saving my brothers. And man, like, what greater cause is there than to save lives? And that's what I did. And during that time frame, since COVID, man, like, there's been a serious spike in mental health. There's a mental health crisis, and it's in every industry. It's not just a veteran issue. It's not just a law enforcement issue. It's not just a male issue. It's not just an adolescent issue. It's an American issue. And people are looking for hope everywhere. And along the way, after just getting out of the military, I went right to work. I didn't find time to rest and recover because that's what I do. I'm high functioning. I'm always wanting to be productive. And I was burnt out. Didn't recognize it at the time. And I figured just, hey, transitioning to a nonprofit, I'm going to be good to go. But the reality is this, is that I wasn't good to go. I wasn't good to go. And what was happening was my health issues. I've shared this with some people in my life, but I was having some serious health issues with syncopes that look kind of like a seizure. And this is from multiple mild traumatic brain injuries synonymous with concussion. I figured that I would stop having these syncopes as soon as I left the military. Not the case at all. When you have such high stress and your cortisol levels are through the roof, you're going to have problems. If you never take a tactical pause to rest and recover, you're going to have some problems. And that's exactly what was going on with me. So here I am. I'm back to work. Man, I'm addicted to work. I'm addicted to productivity. And, you know, is that really something that people are going to be surprised about? No. I mean, special operations, you're constantly working, you're constantly changing the world for good, you're constantly moving, you're constantly engaging, you're constantly productive. And those actions carried on in my nonprofit. And so I was burning the candle at both ends. And finally, I got to this point where I was realizing that I'm compromising my health. And when you're doing that, how can you really be the best father, the best mother, the best brother, the best sister, the best husband, the best wife? How can you possibly be? It's not possible. If there's anybody that could do it, I know that I could do it, and I could not do it. And so after all these years, I came to a breaking point. And I remember just sitting there thinking, what am I going to do? Because, man, I'm at a breaking point. And I was thinking, God, there's got to be a way to get out of this. And all of a sudden, when I didn't think it could get any worse, my son, who's my prized possession, has a catastrophic accident. Now, I have a son, I have a daughter. He's my prized possession. She's the gem of my eye. I love these two. They're my legacy, man. Like, I've invested my life into these two children. Love everyone, but my children are my children. And you know, out there, if you have kids, you know what I mean. And so the bottom line is, when my son had a catastrophic accident, I mean, this guy is a champion. He was part of a state championship cross country team, part of a state championship track and field team. No doubt the guy's going to be a state champion. My wife, Dana, she was a state champion. I mean, I ran on the junior Olympic team, represented the U.S. I mean, we come from elite athletes, you know, specifically in running, 800, 1,500 meters a mile. No doubt my kids are going to be champs. Then my son has this accident, and I'm going to tell you, this last year almost killed me. When I thought like I couldn't get through it somehow, some way, God gets me through it. I look back at all the crazy things that have ever happened, all my deployments. And there was one particular time I didn't think I'd make it back. That's what war does, right? I mean, you're engaged in an enemy. Somebody's not going to make it home. Somebody's not going to make it home. And when I thought that I left all that stress behind, only to realize that I'm experiencing something worse than war. And that's when my beloved son is almost killed and left in a wheelchair. And now here I am asking God, hey, what are these great plans you talk about? These great plans to win and persevere. How am I winning when my prized possession is now in a wheelchair? So this last year has been crazy. I definitely needed to take a tactical pause, but I didn't know how or when. SOF Missions is a faith-based organization. We provide psychological care, cognitive care, physical care, social care, and spiritual care. I'm adamant that if you really want to find freedom, you got to find God. And if you find God, you're going to find your purpose. That's not religious at all. It's just the truth. So here I am serving humanity, trying to figure out how to free myself from this burden. And I run into this guy by the name of Chepe, who's running a global movement, Legendarios. It's one of the reasons why I'm wearing this orange jersey right here, right now. He looks at me in the face. He says, you need to go through Legendarios Top. A Top is a program. One that I went through was called Eagle's Nest. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to tell you, all you men out there, I'm telling you right now, it was hard. And I learned a little bit about it. I'm not going to go through it. I told Chepe, I'm not going to go through this thing. I'm like, there's got to be a different way to be a part of your team, your leadership. He's like, no, if you want to be part of the leadership, you got to go through a legendary top. You just got to go through it. And so I figured I'd just kind of navigate my way around it. No, that night, I remember when I was going home, I'm yelling, I'm screaming, I'm telling my wife and my DO, I'm not going to go through this thing. I've gone through the Marine Corps boot camp. I've gone through the recon indoctrination. I've gone through Ranger School. I've gone through combat control pipeline of 3 years of pain and agony. I've gone through I've gone through the hardest schools in the Department of War, to include combat dive. And it was early in the morning at 0:30. Man, God just woke me up. I'm tossing, I'm turning, and I wake up like in sweat, just like sweating profusely. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I had that moment of clarity. I'm going to go. And so I went. And I'm here to tell you something. The first thing I did, I called up in the morning and I invited a bunch of my buddies to join me through the Legendarios Top Eagle's Nest in Florida. And of course, I knew that the experience was going to have a little misery. And of course, misery loves what? Company. And so I invited some of my buddies, guys from California, from Colorado, North Carolina, Georgia, like all over the nation came and joined me and became a part of my tribe, Tribe 1-6, to be very specific. When I went in to that top, it completely stripped me down from everything, every burden, everything I was holding before me and God. Like it was consumed by a fire. It was the hardest thing I've ever attended as a civilian. Definitely in lines of what military programs do, where they kind of break you down and they build you back up to remind you 8 billion people in the whole world. What are you called to do? Why are you really here? And the fact of the matter is that I'm here to change the world for good, to be an unstoppable force for good, that God has this incredible plan, that regardless of what's going on, whether there's hurricanes, whether there's earthquakes, or whether your son has a catastrophic accident, his plans for you are good. And through this process, I just remember that, man, there are some things that I've been a slave to. And everybody's addicted to something. For me, I've realized that I've been addicted to success. I've been addicted to being on top. I've been addicted to being addicted to my own ambition, a slave to my own ambition, a slave to always being number one. And the reality is that God doesn't care if you're number one. What God really cares is that you're doing his will, that he has a calling in your life. And are you answering that call? We all have these visions. We all have these ideas. We all have these dreams. And I really believe that a lot of times these dreams that God gives to you, a lot of them, you were born to fulfill them, to live them out. But many times we have to understand, well, what does that really mean? So for me, I've come to terms with this, I've come to terms with the fact that I want freedom. And the Legendarios movement did that for me. For the first time in so long, I am feeling this level of freedom, and I've been stripped away, and I've realized something. You know what's most important? Let me tell you something, friends. The most important thing is your faith, because you're here today, you're gone tomorrow, man. I don't care who you are. That is not a religious statement. That is not in any way a religious statement whatsoever. It's the reality that we're all finite beings, and we're all going to pass away, and we're going to get before the creator of the universe, which I call God, with absolute confidence. And we're going to be held responsible for all the goodness that God has given to us. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am super blessed. And so are you. If you're an American and you're living in this great country, it doesn't matter where you came from. You are blessed because you are an American. And the reality is that we can do anything in America. I'm a no-name kid with no-name money, no legacy, nothing, from LA, California, single mom, working for $4.25 an hour just to put rice and beans on the table, living in not the best places in the world. And the fact is that God had a plan. He gave me my first Wonder Woman, which was my mom. He's given me skills and gifts and talents, and has allowed me to have certain experiences so that I could fulfill his ultimate calling. My friends, since I've left the Legendarios top, I have joined the movement. I joined the movement, and I'm here to tell each and every one of you out there, we are all burnt out in some way, somehow, and God wants us to take a tactical pause. However it is that you find it, I'm here to tell you, I found it through Legendarios movement, through the top. I'm going to put all this information in the comment section, and hoping and praying that you will look into it, because I feel renewed, I feel fresh, and I have a clear perspective on life. All this fog of war, gone. Faith is first. My family is second. That's what matters. Being the husband, being the father, taking care of my kids, everything else, job, community, all that, that's all third. And I'm here to tell you something, friends. If you're listening to this now and you feel burnt out, if you feel like, man, I don't know what to do, I feel a bit hopeless, I'm constantly trying to move the needle, and every morning I'm waking up and I just feel empty, you need to take a tactical pause. You need to look through your inventory, your resources, figure out how you're going to get away to have this moment of clarity, this epiphany between you and the creator. I'm here to tell you that I found it through Legendarios. And if it worked for me, it can work for you. I'm going to close with this. Do yourself a favor. Take a tactical pause, because it's the most important thing in your life, because people are counting on you. People are counting on you to be the best version of yourself. And people are counting on me. Every morning I'm waking up, I had all this burden. Hey man, I got to provide for my family. I got to provide for this organization, all these employees. I got to make sure that they get a paycheck so they can take care of their families. I'm here to tell you something. God has given us SOF missions so that we can serve humanity, so we can solve these problems. We can combat the suicide epidemic. We can bring hope to all these veterans, these active duty members, and even to their families. And now we're even moving on to law enforcement and first responders and their families. 18.8 million Americans are veterans in the United States, 1.5 million in my home state of Florida. And I'm here to tell you that we're here to provide hope to a lost and broken world. Friends, my name is Damon Friedman, and I was burned out. I didn't know where to go or what to do. Every day I'm waking up feeling completely empty. And I went to Legendarios top. And I'm here to tell you, I'm back. And I'm on fire. And I know why I'm here. And I know what I have to do. And I'm moving fast and furious with the absolute clarity, one that I had not even felt in over a decade. Brothers and sisters out there, if you're feeling hopeless, man, remember, there's a God in heaven that knows you, and he knows you by name. My name is Damon Friedman. This is the Damon Friedman Show. And this isn't just a podcast. This is a movement. And for all of you out there, I'm going to do you a big favor, a big Legendarios, O, which represents A, agape love, H, which is about honor, and U, which is unity. Godspeed, my friends, and be the best version of yourselves for him and the people that love you. Godspeed.